The name Endeavor, meaning to strive, identifies Enji Todoroki and the rise of the polarizing number 2 hero. It follows the monomyth or the hero's journey. We'll use a condensed version called the story circle, plotting Endeavor's trials and confronting his insecurities and faults, while highlighting the all too familiar narrative seen in storytelling. To visualize the character arc and plot beats of the story, we'll divide Endeavor's arc into 8 stages. First, a hero is established and in their comfort zone. A character in the most accurate form, the number 2 hero's journey sees him at the top of his game while always second best. Endeavor has practically mastered his quirk and is known for being a great detective. Amongst other heroes, he has some of the highest numbers of resolved cases. He's a perfect hero on paper, but it's his personality that created that fissure between him and All Might and within the people's eyes. His powers and skills are almost unmatched. Endeavor's quirk must be used to extreme levels to complete the job, or else he'll die from overheating. His somewhat flashy display of brute force is a practical one. He doesn't have the time or the ability to have drawn out battles, resulting in him causing collateral damage and increasing his fearsome reputation. As we move towards the next level of character development, this is where we see our hero's desires. Stage 2 of the story circle highlights Endeavor and his comfort zone. Solely and obsessively, this hero needs something. Our introduction to Endeavor and for character arcs within this journey shows someone resistant to change, often unaware of their faults, or if aware, refusing to change. These faults usually being the obstacle to their desires. Endeavor for the longest time was troubled with his position as second best. Even after reaching the top of his class and rank at an unprecedented rate, he was never good enough in his eyes. He saw the limitations of his quirk and overlooked his reputation and the damage that he would cause to overcome his shortcomings. To prove his superiority, he practically engineered children to surpass his quirk's weakness. To achieve the dream, he couldn't surpass All Might. It is here that the hero enters an unfamiliar situation. After the symbol of peace steps down, Endeavor finds himself in a space he never thought he could reach. Technically, he is the number 1 hero, but he's unfulfilled. He feels he doesn't deserve it and hasn't truly earned it. It's at this point that we see heroes confront themselves as they try to accept their new reality, because there's no turning back. He seeks advice from All Might to make sense of it all. It's when Endeavor sees his son playing with the unruly children that he sees his son utilizing his powers in coordination with his peers. He realizes his shortcoming. His obsession and unwavering goals kept him from being a true father, let alone a hero worthy of taking the number 1 mantle. All Might's words pushed him to find a way to become a different kind of hero, to stop chasing his shadow and step out into the light as his own symbol. It's at this point his mindset starts to shift and he tries to become a better father, while also becoming a genuine hero, even knowing that it might never get him to be as loved or as praised as All Might, or to make up for all the wrongdoings in his past. The hero begins to adapt to his new circumstances. Set out to look and act the part as the greatest hero, he's shown to visibly change with a more commanding costume. When given a chance to speak to the populace after he's officially ranked, he tells them, or better yet, he asks them to watch him. The hero gets what he wanted, but many are dubious of their new symbol of peace. His reputation and personality left a massive gap in popularity between him and his predecessor. A new version of Nomu quickly tests that thin thread of fate, one that pushes him to his absolute limits. Now, as the current number 1, he fights to save the city while trying to protect their sense of security. He knows he'll never be as good as All Might, but he now has a greater responsibility. His quirk and body are pushed to their limits as he tries to limit casualty. He's always fought to end things quickly, using any family and method to overcome his quirk. Still, it's now that he overcomes his past selfishness for the greater good. It is here, in the story, that the hero pays a heavy price. He realized Hood's search to be the most powerful, to fight the most powerful, mirrors the monster he became. While battered, bloodied, and accepting of his fate, he fights on with whatever he has left, going further beyond everyone's expectations. He goes past his limits and the city's skyline to burn Hood and his former self. The hero falls back to Earth, returning to a familiar situation. Endeavor decimates Hood and becomes a new symbol, maybe not of peace, but a new figure of hope. He raises his fist to reassure the crowd as the #1 hero. Endeavor destroys his former self to be reborn, so he can live up to his name, to strive, and to exert himself into becoming the #1 hero that others can believe in, at least for the moment. As all stories, especially the impactful ones, the hero has returned, changed. With Endeavor, we are able to see the condensed version of the hero's journey, known as a story circle or plot embryo. There are many plot structure and story structure themes and templates out there. This is just one of many that perfectly elicits the journey that most heroes and most stories and characters take. A hero has a need that pushes them through trials to find their wishes, only to find prices to be paid and tests to their resolve. The hero, tired and battle-tested, returns from their external and internal journey, having changed.